Hello, my name is Francis Fox. I'm a trained reviewer, also trained in interspecies communication, which doesn't mean I'm a glorified pet psychic, even though I do work a lot with pets and animals. If you don't get it when I say interspecies communication, then you know what? Sit at the back of the room. Leave the chairs at the front for the people that can actually do something with the information I'm sharing. And that actually is a joke because I must have told several thousand people that I was trained in interspecies communication, and nobody ever says a word. And I think that dozens of people should have said, "Oh, can you talk to aliens?" And they haven't. There's some kind of an invisible wall there. But anyway, we're here. Trump won. Um, there is, as the team says, there's a lot of work to be done. At the same time, we cannot have the people that feel like they lost, we cannot have them be frightened. So I'm going to start this with reminding you, and I do believe that I said it here in my Francis Fox News from Other Dimensions, which is what this chat is. Um, Many years ago, somebody had a panic attack, and I might have the details incorrect, but the gist of it is totally accurate, and I have not been able to find because I did a clip out of it. Okay, somebody had a panic attack. They didn't feel well, and I checked, and it was a transference of energy from the nanny. Okay, let me show you how that works. When you have a lot of emotion, you're paying attention to somebody. You transfer your energy, the quality of your aura, of your mind, your emotions. You transfer it over to the person you pay attention to. In this case, it was the nanny that was transferring it to the mother of the child the nanny was taking care of. Okay, so then I said, just do the panic attack mantra, which is even though I'm afraid, I love and accept myself. By the way, everybody jot that down because the spirits will make you not remember it. Next time you feel in a panic or somebody's in a panic, do it or do it for them. Surrogate, it works. Okay, back to the story. When I widen my lens, I think that the mother, it's coming back. The mother asked, why was the nanny such a wreck? Because that wasn't good for her child, totally accurate, and that her life seemed to be okay. She had a good job. And when I checked, everybody around the nanny that was like her, undocumented worker, was frightened. And it was years ago when there was issues having to do with immigration, and they would, oh, la migra, which means immigration is going to come and take us all, whatever. And there was supposed to be sweeps in the cities, and I don't remember, but it must have been 15, 20 years ago. All of her friends and family were all in a panic. And that was landing on everybody that they related to, which is not unusual because our depressions land on our children. I decided I would continue living in the 90s because it looked like there was no way I could win anything because of people's beliefs and whatever. But I noticed and I realized everything that I cleared in myself, I cleared in my kids at the same time. So I said, you know what? I'm not leaving. I have a lot of work to do. Let me get to work. But I'm still working 30 years later. So this nanny was able to upset this family enough to where I was called to ask what was going on. Not with the nanny. Nobody knew it was a nanny. Okay. And that's the whole thing about being psychic and you using your instincts and you understanding that the physical can really confuse you. You need to go deeper and you'll see where things start. So when I widened my lens, we had entire sections of the country that were in a panic. Okay, fast forward, Trump wins. How many millions are going to be deported? I actually do not have a single suggestion to make having to do with what to do with the illegal aliens, other than on the physical dimension, deport them, not deport. I have to say that, as I said yesterday, without really being remembering this particular angle of the situation, the emotional component which is the most important part of that's what distinguishes us from animals. They can think, they can communicate now, we find out. Okay? They can do a lot of things that we do, but they don't have that emotional component that we do. They can be emotional, they can laugh, and they can, some people say that they cry, they can certainly whine. Um, but that has got to be attended to, and it has to start today. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do 10 minutes of the mantra for panic attacks, and we're going to do it for the United States. But when you do it, you're actually doing it for yourself, which means because of transference of energies, you're also doing it for your kids and your mate, your coworkers. So we're just going to do the panic purification mantra. Even though I'm afraid, I love and accept myself. And just 10 minutes. But before that, today I was on X, which is where I get my news, and they were talking about the Hopi Indian prophecy that at the end there would be someone with a red cap, a red hat, and he would start an era of purification. Now, I put the link up to a video that I did not look at, and I'm assuming that the thing with the red cap is in that video. I don't know because I just saw this 20 minutes ago. But if you root around and you go to Google, you will find that there are several links that you can go and hear about the red hat, the Hopi Indians said, would start an era of purification, which, in terms of the people that are part of the Mantrista movement, as I've said to them, we spent the first 2 or 3 years and all we did was purify. And I said, this is getting a little bit boring. We no longer had people coming to the chats. Oh my God, my son, my daughter, my this is that. Nobody comes other than somebody new, and it's so obvious when they say, "Oh, Francis, I really need help with this." It's so obvious that they are not a follower, because if not, they wouldn't have gotten that bad, because they would have understood that they needed to do mantras to cool themselves down, to calm themselves down, so that they could create what it is that they wanted, rather than getting caught in the recycling of what they already created, which usually had to do with a child. So we are going to do this mantra. I want you to assess yourself from 1 to 10. How do you feel? 10 is you feel great, and 1 is you want to slit your wrists. We're going to look at the gold dress, and then we're going to go ahead and do that mantra. And the Mateo composition we're going to use is the one with the whales, which is very subconscious. And we want to get that fear out, because of what's going on with all those millions that I do believe that Trump will transport them out. That's an awful lot of fear in the air, and it will land on you, and then you'll end up like I did one day. I went to the bank and I was fine. I've been very stable, thank God. Also because of I don't go on trips, I don't buy jewelry, it's not my style. Um, but I went to the bank and I'm in line because I'm going to do some kind of transaction, and I start to go into a panic. What is this about? Everything's okay. I'm sure it's okay. It was okay 15 minutes ago. So I go to the bank again a week later, same thing. And I realize the people standing in line were having panic attacks, and they left that energy there. Gotta clear it. Gotta clear it. Okay, here we go. Let's go to the mantra. Even though I'm afraid. So we are starting the Red Hat movement of purification that was apparently a prophecy by the Hopi Indians. And from what you've heard through the years, you don't question the Hopi Indians. It is just simply accepted that they have an incredible level of wisdom. So, okay, let's do it. By the way, I'm not sure, other than Buddhism, I'm not sure what other religion, and Buddhism is not a religion, it's a philosophy. I'm not sure any of the religions do that much having to do with the type of purification we're talking about. Um, but it doesn't matter because what's important is you. So you already know how you feel. You know what the dress looks like. Did I actually put it up? I think I did. And let's do 10 minutes of the subconscious. Was that beautiful or what? How do you feel from 1 to 10, particularly compared to how you before you did the mantra? Then I'm going to show you what happened to the map of the country. Talk about superpowers. How's the dress? Isn't that neat? So, what we did, and you would think that the fear would have nothing to do with the rage, but it does, because we were clearing fear. You did the mantra. And what ended up happening is that there were a lot of lines, like static, that was coming up, but red, not the black from the depression, from the fear, and then a lot of orange lines that were getting lifted up, and a lot of green. So even though the predominant color was red, which is rage, and remember I've told you, an excess of the fire element, the two ultimate characteristics are murder and suicide. When there's too much fire, too much anger, too much rage, too much frustration, and we're a planet full of too many frustrated, angry people, global warming, forget what that really means. I can tell you that the planet and everybody who knows anything about shamanism or the actual health of the planet knows that there's too much fire, which means that everybody would either want to kill or they want to kill themselves, which is the same thing. Kill somebody else, kill yourself. But we moved a lot of energy, and there were, according to this, is 104 people. Now we already know that there's fudging in terms of our numbers, so that we look like nobody really. Oh, what can I tell you? We did very well, and we did really well by the country. So I'm officially declaring today, the 7th of November, 2024, the start of the red purification movement that was predicted by the Hopi. Okay. I'm not quite sure where to go here, but I'll tell you what, I'll look at X and see what's the primary news. And let's see if there's something there. And if not, we will just um I don't know what to tell you. Other than things are looking really, 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 really good. Okay. Oh dear. We are definitely in a new era. We had those frequency shifts with the Schumann resonance doing all sorts of weird things. And we were going through the ascension process, and we had those eclipses that were really pushing change or collapse. And we got through it. And here we are in a totally new era on the planet, and with what certainly appears to be the right person in charge of the most important country in the world, which is the United States at this point. I'm not saying it's the best, I'm not saying it's values, I'm not saying any of that, but the most important in terms of power. Now, what is the definition of the word power? The definition of the word in the dictionary means to do, the ability to do, which is um, what we would all want. Because you see, we have our intentions, and then they need to happen. The ability to do, even if it's to do in the sense of carving out a space of time so that you can do your 10 minutes of intention mantras, the ability to do that. And we have somebody at the helm of the most important country in the world at this point, um, who understands power and is pointing it appears in the correct direction. So everything is a balance. And we have all these people here still spewing rage, and that could affect the people on the other side, which in this case is the Trump camp. So that's what we can't have. We can't have the new people that came in reacting to the rage and the out of control emotions, etc., of the old people. We're not, that's not how you create reality. That's how you continue to recreate the mess we're in. So there has to be a plan to do stuff, and there is, and then we have to take care of the spiritual and the emotional component of being in the consciousness shift like this planet has never experienced before, having nothing to do with the US elections, but that it would appear that maybe the US election results are in tune with this. And I'm going to go back and look at the Hopi prophecy that said that a man with a red hat would start the era of purification. If I have anything to say about it, we're going to push that to the front of the train because it's our emotions that take us down. And I want to remind everybody about what happened to Darth Vader. It was, I believe, a Jedi Master, and he sold the universe, the galaxies, whatever, to the dark. Why? And most people don't even remember this. They don't think it's important. Are you kidding me? Why did he sell everything to the dark and he was going to take over everything? Because his mother died when he was a child. And he did not do purification mantras, obviously. That was not taken care of because that has not been taken care of on the planet. And then his wife got sick, which is what usually happens with cancer. You have an issue when you're a child, young, kind of breaks you, but you continue forward. And then it reproduces the same scenario when you're older. And that's why doctors say you have cancer. So you have cancer in you way before you actually get cancer. That makes sense with what it is that I found. So you have that mantra. I suggest that you put it in 10 different places because the spirits, like before when we used post notes, the spirits would make the post notes disappear. Put it on your cell phone, and when you see somebody really struggling, most people will not admit what they're going through emotionally. Just go ahead and do the mantra. Even though I'm afraid, I love and accept myself. And then visualize them inside an igloo of ice or underneath cascading water, cold water, glacier water. And start to get a grip on the people around you and those that you can educate and say, hey, try this little thing. And then you can tell them it's Buddhist, which it is and it isn't. Mantras are very old. The kind of mantras that I promote are point specific mantras. I don't want to be in charge of your spiritual development. I want to give you stuff that will make you feel less anguish and so that you can actually think and point your vectors of intention in the right direction and not just recycle because of fear. So, the first day of the Hopi prophecy of the man with the red hat, except he's not here. But I am. So let's do it. Okay? So that's it. We will see you again. Today is what? Oh, I wasn't even supposed to be on today, but we'll see you again tomorrow. Okay? Love you a lot.